This week on the Sequoyah Scribe Newscast, we take a closer look at flipped classrooms at Sevier.
We sit down with new Sevier Middle School principal Dr. Holly Flora and discuss her plans for Sevier.
And in our sports segment, we take a closer look at why 6th graders are not allowed to play on varsity teams. All this and more is coming up on SSN. Good morning, Sevier Middle. My name is Alise.
And I'm Alex. Welcome to this week's episode of SSN.
Flipped classrooms are becoming a common part of Sevier Middle School. What exactly are flipped classrooms? Gabriel and Joshua have the story.
There is a new buzz in education. Flipped classrooms.
Right. Okay. A flipped classroom is where the instruction will come at home. So the student would watch a lecture on the internet.
A flipped classroom is when the students watch a video at home with the lecture part of the material, so to be prepared for the next day's lesson.
So basically a flipped classroom is like where we get more freedom, and it allows us to work at our own pace, where she gives us computers and we can do our assignments.
Teachers have good reasons to try a flipped classroom.
Okay, some of the advantages of flipped class is that I spend more time with the students and less time spending in front of all.
To work on problems and have support from the teacher and other students. So if they get stuck, instead of usually learning how to do the problem and thinking they know how to do it, they go home, they start practicing, they have no idea how to do it. When they start practicing the problem in class, if they don't know how to do it, the teacher's there, and sometimes other students are there to help them.
The videos are also a great way because it gives us to learn the things outside of class so that we have more time in class to do our work and not have to do it as homework.
Generally, students and teachers like flipped classrooms.
I think it is helping me along because it's helping me understand the content more that she's teaching us, because I don't have to wait for the students behind me to catch up.
I believe flipping classrooms is very effective for the many different abilities, from the ones that really grasp it to the ones that are struggling with it.
I really like the flipped classroom because instead of the teacher standing up in front of the class and just lecturing for 15, 20, 25 minutes and the kids falling asleep, there's a lot more activity. It gives the kids a lot of choice and freedom. And I've even had parents who said they like it because they can watch them and then they know how to help their child.
Some students have an issue with flipped classrooms.
Sometimes it doesn't show up and you get in trouble in class because it isn't there.
This has been Joshua and Gabriel reporting for SSN.
A one-to-one device program is now underway at Sevier Middle. The program will eventually put a laptop in the hands of every student in Kingsport. Laptops were signed out to parents last Thursday and Friday. Only 6th grade students at Sevier and Robinson received laptops. The program plans to have all students equipped with laptops within the next few years.
TCAP dates have been set. The test will take place on April 28th to April 30th. There will be no social studies TCAP this year. Instead, a new social studies test will take place from May 4th through May 15th.
The 2015 Sevier Middle Spelling Bee recently took place. The Spelling Bee was held in the Kaufman Auditorium. 8th grade student Grant Wilkins was named the winner of the bee. Jackson Bass was the runner-up in the competition. Grant Wilkins is now qualified to participate in the regional bee in Knoxville.
Dr. Holly Flora, a former principal at Jackson Elementary School, recently replaced retiring Sevier principal Kim Harvey. Kristen and Elizabeth sat down with Dr. Flora to discuss her new job as Sevier principal.
Good morning, John Sevier. I'm Kristen, sitting with Sevier's new principal, Dr. Holly Flora. Please introduce yourself to Sevier students.
Well, my name is Dr. Flora, and I've actually been in Kingsport City Schools for 20 years. I've been a teacher at Lincoln and at Washington Elementary School. I was the district-wide literacy coordinator for 2 years, and I worked with students from kindergarten all the way through a senior in high school. And so I'm really excited to be here at Sevier as a middle school principal now.
Why did you decide to come to Sevier Middle School from Jackson Elementary School?
In recent years, I've been really excited about middle school students. I feel like the opportunity to build relationships with middle school students specifically at a critical time of their life is important. And I think keeping kids engaged at the middle school is important. So it's something that I'm really excited about. Also, just for Sevier specifically, because I've had experience at 3 of the 4 feeder schools, it just seemed like the perfect fit.
What is your impression of Sevier Middle School so far? What are your thoughts about Sevier's student body?
Everyone at Sevier has been so welcoming. The teachers, I've been overwhelmed with just how committed and invested they are in the students, from the academics to extracurricular activities. It's just been exciting to see. The students, just as outstanding. Everybody's been welcoming, engaged, and it just seems like the students at Sevier take every opportunity to take advantage of the opportunities that are here.
What are the main goals you hope to accomplish as the new principal of John Sevier Middle School?
You know, coming in January is a unique situation for a principal. For the second semester, my main goals are really just to get to know the staff and the students of Sevier and find out what they feel like is going well, and then find out what changes that they would like to see. So I would really just like to build those relationships, and if there are things that the staff and the students would like to see changed and we can get to work on those, we certainly can. But you know, building relationships is certainly my first priority.
Are there any rules or programs you plan to change at Sevier? If so, which ones and why?
I don't have any plans to make any immediate changes. Like I said earlier, I am really going to get the input of the teachers and the students. And if the student body or the teachers feel like there needs to be a change, then we can work together to see how those changes would take place. But I believe that change needs to happen as a result of a group decision, not just the decision of one.
Do you have any advice for the students of John Sevier Middle School?
I think my advice for students in general would be just to realize that it's all about the choices that we make that help lead to our success. So if we can be responsible for our choices, then you know, we can have positive outcomes.
Cold temperatures and some precipitation have stuck around in Kingsport, but is real snowfall set to finally arrive? Gabriel is standing by in the Weather Center with the answer.
And no real snow has hit Kingsport yet. Will the snow arrive this week? Good morning, I'm Gabriel. This week, high temperatures will hold steady between the upper 40s and the upper 30s. Monday will see rain showers likely before 2 p.m., then a chance of rain and snow showers. Chance of precipitation will be 70%, but little or no snow accumulation is expected. On Tuesday, there will be a 20% chance of rain and snow, followed by a sunny day on Wednesday. By Thursday, a slight chance of rain and snow mix will return to the Tri-Cities and stick around through Friday. Again, no accumulation is expected. Now let's go back to the newscast studio.
Why can't 6th graders play on varsity teams in Kingsport? It's the question many athletes and coaches continuously ask. Alison is standing by with the sports report.
The varsity Lady Warriors basketball team won their first tournament game by annihilating Robinson Middle to 48-13. The leading scorers were Courtney Whitson 30 points and Jaden Fullen 4 points. The varsity Sevier boys basketball season also continued. The team also took on R&R on Saturday and won in the first round of the Middle 8 Conference tournament, making them eligible for the Area 1 AA tournament at Sevier. The leading scorer was Murray Foreman with 16 points. Both teams were able to move on to the Middle 8 Conference Championship. The varsity boys lost in the Middle 8 Conference Championship game to Greenville with the score of 54-52. The top scorer was Murray Foreman, who scored 28 points. The varsity girls basketball team are the conference tournament champs. They played hard and were too much for T.A. Duggar. Courtney Whitson was named tournament MVP. Both teams will compete this week in the Area 1 AA tournament. Kingsport City Schools is the only system in the Tri-Cities that does not allow 6th grade students to play on varsity teams. Maddie and Eli filed this report.
Kingsport City is one of the only school districts that doesn't allow 6th graders to play on varsity teams. John Sevier 6th graders, however, believe otherwise.
Yeah, because there's some 6th graders that are like really good at playing football.
Yeah, I do. If they have the same skill, then they should be able to. If they can cross them older boys up, they should be able to.
Coach Potts and Coach Moore are disappointed that 6th graders can't play on varsity teams. They believe that they should be able to play.
sixth graders not being on varsity kind of aggravates me to a certain degree, because I really feel like if a player is good enough to make the varsity roster, then they should be given the opportunity to play. It's kind of restricting the team if they're not able to play, and it's also restricting that player. There's not going to be many circumstances where a sixth grader is able to make the varsity team, but if a player is able to make the team, then why not give them a chance to play?
Sixth graders should be allowed to play varsity. Most of them can compete at that level if they are physically able, and coaches won't keep most sixth graders on the team unless they are capable and have the talent to participate anyway. So when they play as a sixth grader versus an eighth grader is no different than a freshman playing against a varsity senior at a high school level.
Some sixth graders believe that they would enjoy playing on varsity teams.
Yeah, because it would be like fun and maybe it would be easy.
Yeah, I want to play on varsity, but I'm in sixth grade. I mean, I don't know if I'd play that much.
Reporting for SSN, this has been Maddie and Eli.
Well, that's it for this week's Sevier Sports Report. Tune in next week for another sports update.
How do students feel about changing principals? Do they think it's appropriate to change school leaders halfway through the school year? Alison and I have the story.
Dr. Holly Flora is Sevier's new principal. How do students feel about changing principals halfway through the school year? SSN hit the halls to find out how Sevier students feel about this change.
I think it's exciting. We have a completely new person that is taking over and new rules that are put into place, and I think it's really an exciting thing for John Sevier.
I like Dr. Flora because she was my old principal in elementary school, and I know that we will all miss Dr. Harvey, but I know that Dr. Flora is going to do a great job.
I think it's a better choice than changing principals in the middle of a school time, but they changed it during a break instead of like when we're in school learning.
Well, Principal Harvey had to leave, so we need another principal. But I mean, if we didn't have to change principals in the middle of the school year, that would be better than changing a principal in the middle of the school year.
I really don't think it's that different. It kind of feels the same. There's just another principal there.
Well, I knew Miss Flora from Washington, and she'll be a really good principal because she was a very good teacher.
Well, I really like Mr. Harvey, and I don't really know Miss Flora that well. I used to go to Washington, and she went to Washington, so I guess that's cool. But yeah, I'm gonna miss Mr. Harvey, and I hope Miss Flora does a good job.
I honestly don't like it because I like Mr. Harvey. I mean, Dr. Flora is cool, but I just like Mr. Harvey better. He's cool.
Well, I feel it's a lot better than changing it during break, because like you're gonna all of a sudden come to school with like a new principal. It's gonna be, everything's gonna be new. So I feel like it's better to do it during school when you can show off you can show the principal around, and the kids can actually see the principal instead of all of a sudden coming to see a new principal.
It's actually not a big deal since it's been like his 2.5 years of being at school for Mr. Harvey, the principal. So, and he was retiring early, so.
If you want to tell us your opinion on changing the principal halfway through the school year, tweet us at hashtag SSN hits the halls, and your comment could be featured on next week's episode. Let's go back to the newscast studio.
That's it for today's installment of the Sequoyah Scribe Newscast.
Next week, Keely and Sandler take a look at a special project completed in 8th grade math classes at Sevier.
Gabriel and I sit down with science teacher Stephen Baker and his pet snake, General Leland.
And Keely, Elizabeth, and Alison investigate which Sevier sports teams are in need of some student support.
I'm Alise.
And I'm Alex. Have a great week, Sevier Middle.